Lewis Harrison, tell us three things that are important to know about who you are.
I'm interested in making a difference in other people's lives. I had a radio show on National Public Radio for a decade, and I've had 40 books published with mainstream traditional publishers.
Three fascinating things. There's so much more, and people are going to have to look at another video to get that, aren't they? Today, you have created a course using game-based thinking to help people get wealthy. Why did you create this course, Lewis?
Well, I see people flopping around. Everybody's looking to make money, and people want love and they want to make money. They want financial freedom for their families, for their future, and they don't know what they're doing. The closest they can get is to watch Shark Tank and take some notes. So you have people who have an entrepreneurial spirit, or they're trying to get a side hustle, and everybody online is trying to pitch them and sell them these $10,000 courses, and they get overwhelmed by the details. They don't know what to do. So I figured, let me create a simple course at $5 a month and teach them how to become wealthy.
Wonderful. And what's your background on game theory? I hear it all the time. Game theory. What's your background in that?
Well, I'm one of the world authorities on applied game theory. I studied with a man named Harvey Slayton. He was at Los Alamos. When you see those movies about Oppenheimer and all those guys, he's one of those guys. And John von Neumann, who was one of the leaders at Los Alamos, the Manhattan Project, he was a poker player. And he just got this idea through a journalist that life really is a game. And not just metaphorically speaking, it really is a game. There are players, there's a playing field of some kind, whether it's Los Alamos or World War II or a baseball field, it's a game space. And there are cheaters, and there are rules of engagement and referees, and you score points and you win, that you really can frame life like it's a game. So, of course, most of the people who developed this were mathematicians, and they looked at game theory as a rational situation where people behave rationally. People don't behave rationally. They're emotional creatures. And I had a background as a stage mentalist, performing, a mentalist, and also as a magician. And magicians and mentalists have the ability to see nonverbal cues. You can see how people are going to behave when they're stimulated in irrational ways. So I developed a system to teach people how to make decisions and see what other people are going to do in certain situations so that people can maximize their potential at a very low cost, like a game. And that's why it's called game-based thinking.
Fantastic. And what does that specifically have to do with what you're teaching people about wealth?
Well, getting wealthy is a game. Whether you're investing in real estate, stock market, affiliate marketing, social media marketing, you have a brick and mortar business. I mean, think about Walmart. They're a brick and mortar business for the most part, and they have one of the largest internet presences of any company in the world. So if a person is going to maximize their potential to become economically independent, to scale their business, scale their income, invest properly, expand their business at a PIPASA level, and that means practical, effective, efficient, precise, productive, accountable, and self-aware. You got to think about it like a game. So wealth is directly tied to being able to win the game of life.
And you've given us an example of Walmart. What about an example of game theory as applied in, say, politics or economics or biology?
They're all involved. So I like biology because no one ever talks about that. So there's something in evolutionary biology that is called reciprocal altruism, and it's part of our relationship right here, you and I. So in reciprocal altruism, you take some of your time or some of your resources at a loss. You actually lose to help someone else short term. You're helping them get what they need short term with the expectation that they will return the favor later. That's a form of game theory. It's a win-win situation. I help you now, you help me later. And that's called reciprocal altruism. And that is a theory in game theory. It relates to biology.
Excellent. And what's the difference between, say, a strategy and a tactic?
In a dictionary, they're the same, but in game theory, they're not. A strategy is an overriding concept of what you're going to do. So Israel going into Gaza or Hamas attacking Israel, if it's well thought out, that's a strategy. You're not sure what you're going to do exactly. You're not sure what the individual steps are going to be, but you know what your end game is. With a tactic, it's more short term. You're making a decision to do something in a certain way. So an example with what we're doing right now is having a presence in social media would be a strategy. Having us do this conversation would be a tactic. It's short term. We're not sure where it's going to go. We know what the time length is probably going to be. We know what the structure is probably going to be. And we know that this is going to get posted in YouTube at a particular point. Tactic.
Got it. That's a really clear definition. And
Thanks.
how would people learn this type of thinking? It seems fairly complex at the very basic introductory level that you're high level that you're talking right now. How does one go about learning this?
See, people think it's complex, but you can see game theory by watching 5 kids in a sandbox. You put them in a sandbox, there's one kid who's going to steal everybody else's toys. That's a predator. You're going to have other kids who are going to share their toys with each other. That's a win-win situation. So you can learn about game theory by playing a Rubik's Cube, or playing Minecraft, a video game, or playing checkers, or tic-tac-toe, or rock, paper, scissors, or watching kids in a sandbox. That's how basic it is. But most people don't know what they're looking at when they're watching kids in a sandbox. So you have to actually teach them what to look for. There are some games that are win-win games where everybody wins. There are some games that are win-lose games where somebody wins and everybody else loses. And I teach that. So we start at the very beginning, and people get lessons, seven lessons a week. They don't have to read them all. Monday's about the arts, Tuesday's about deep thinking, Wednesday's about wealth, Thursday's about tactics and social media. Friday is more about work-life balance. Saturday's about strategy. Sunday's about spiritual stuff. So I have it mapped out, but people get they sign up for the course. It's $5 a month, and they get a lesson every day. They're not sequential. So if you miss a lesson, you're not going to lose anything. You're not going to miss the boat. But they're designed to teach people this work inch by inch, step by step, so they can apply it in realistic ways.
Great. Now, if you were to outline the specific core principles of game theory, because we have a few more minutes in this conversation,
Yes.
you list them kind of in order. What are the core principles?
The core principles of applied game theory, as it deals with creating wealth, which is my focus, to help people create wealth, is that everybody has the potential, A, to succeed and maximize what they're doing. 2, everybody has 27 basic gifts. Yeah, people have time, they have space, they have information. You don't need to have a lot of money to make a lot of money. People say, you need money to make money. That's not true. You need resources to make money, collaboration with others, a good network, mentors. So there are skill sets that people need to get together and do a little introspection on themselves. Who are they, and what do they do, and how do they do it? And then you know that it's a competitive environment. In some places, people are very, very collaborative. They want to help each other. But in some games, people are predators. They want to take your toys. And so in game theory, you have to actually develop a way to protect your resources from somebody who will take them away from you illegally or unfairly. You need to know what a win is. I know how I win. I have a list of things that I do. that when I get them done, I know that I have won. And so the principles of game theory is you need to know if you're winning. You need to know who your adversaries or collaborators are. You need to know what the rules of the game are. You need to know your resources. You need to know how to score. These are the basic things you would know if you were watching football or basketball or playing rock, paper, scissors or checkers.
Excellent. What are some of the new trends that are happening in this whole field of game theory?
Well, AI, if anything, artificial intelligence. In fact, it's a funny story. I just had an article rejected. I was accused of using AI, and I had to write to them that AI actually stole my article. So if you know what your resources are and someone accuses you of, taking information through ChatGPT or game theory, I didn't know. They stole it from me. They used my book that I wrote 40 years ago. So there's always new technology coming in that will enable you to win more easily and will also enable someone else to take advantage of you illegally. So you need to actually know, the new gloves in baseball, the new bats, the new balls, the new net in basketball, the new safety equipment in football. You need to know. And so if you know your resources, you can win the game more easily. And technology is a big issue here, and AI.
Got it. What about ethical considerations in terms of game theory?
There is none.
Ah,
I mean, I'm ethical, you know, if you can believe me, but I'm telling you I'm ethical. But in game theory, there's always a cheater. Part of game theory is you being smart enough to know when someone else is cheating and how to stop them from cheating. Yeah, game theory is not a moral or ethical system. It's only about winning. And hopefully you'll win by knowing how to stop people who are unethical at the same time that you get to win by being ethical.
and what are some of the biggest challenges or obstacles that people face if they're using game theory as a strategy?
Usually their own emotional baggage and their cognitive biases. They convince themselves that something is so that isn't. They convince themselves that some information is so that isn't. They ignore facts and convince themselves that some conspiracy or some made up idea is true when it isn't. So a good game theorist has to be as objective as possible when looking at the data and the information that's coming in, because if not, their own biases will get in the way.
Right. So in addition to objectivity as much as possible, what other mindset considerations do you have to have in order to be a really good game theory strategist?
Well, you have to believe you deserve to win. Some people want to suffer and they self-sabotage. You can't be a self-sabotager or someone who wants to lose in game theory. You have to want to win. And the better a player you are, not only do you win, but you try and make sure everybody else wins too. Think about that as an idea. Everybody gets to go home from the picnic at the beach having enough pie, having enough waves, having enough showers to wash the sand off. That's what game theory is in its best form, is a non-zero sum game, a non-win-lose game, a situation where everybody gets to win.
I love that. I'd love to hear a story about one of your best game theory examples where everybody wins.
Well, I'm pretty advanced at this. So,
Yes.
so my best story is somebody who's intent on me losing and them winning. They're not playing a win-win. They're playing a win-lose. And I make them so miserable with my strategic skills that they give up their game and decide to let me win and let them win too. That the pain they get of trying to make me lose is too great for them to deal with. And they just decide to let me win and they'll win. We'll all win.
I love that. That's Lewis Harrison at his finest. Sharp
Thank you.
game thinking skills, game strategy skills. So if someone wants to find this course, Lewis, where do they find it?
Well, you can do it two ways. If you must talk to me before you sign up for the $5 a month course, you can email me at lewiscoaches@gmail.com. That's LEWIS, then the word coaches@gmail.com. And we'll set up a time we can talk for 15 minutes. But if this has given you enough information, you just go to asklewis.substack.com. And there's a button right there. You sign up for $5 a month or $6 a month or 55 a year. It's 55 a year. And then they charge you $5 a month, and then that money you pay. And you get your lessons every day, 7 days a week.
Fantastic. Now, why are you only charging $5 for this incredible information that you're offering to the
Well,
world?
some people are so skeptical of everybody trying to sell them crap. $10,000 for this coaching program, $15,000 for that coaching program. It's 10,000 steps. It's a vetting process. And you give me $5, you cheap bastard. It's $5. What do you got to vet me and talk to me for 3 hours to take a $5 a month risk? Jesus. Anyway, no disrespect to Jesus. So for $5 a month, rather than giving it away for free, which I have done, and people don't appreciate that, or overcharging, which I've done, and people don't sign up, $5 a month. And if someone's going to actually take the lessons, watch the videos included in the lessons, and then they say, this is great stuff, they're going to need to possibly do more advanced mentoring and coaching with me. And for that, I have programs that are more costly, where they can talk to me every day or once a week or whatever they need.
And what would you like to leave your listeners with today, Lewis Harrison?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What would you like to leave your listener with today?
Stop suffering, man. Stop sabotaging, man. Stop sitting on your butt, hoping that someone's going to manifest some pixie dust and sprinkle you with it, and you're going to manifest a secret and have money coming in. You know what? If that even happened, you wouldn't know what to do with the money. You drown in it and self-destruct. That's what happens to people that haven't studied with someone like me who actually get wealthy. I had one person win the lottery. They took that money, they opened a restaurant. Now they have a 20-chain restaurant. So what I want to leave you with is, you ain't going to do this without getting mentored. You're not going to become independently wealthy without getting mentored. You're not going to learn how to be a strategist or a tactician or have a meaningful life or work-life balance unless you get mentored. I get mentored. Everyone gets mentored who's successful. Don't be a fool. I know that's aggressive. Forgive me. Don't be a fool, Dumbo. Don't be a fool. Get yourself a mentor. And you're not going to get a mentor for less than $5 a month. That's what I'm offering you, to be the Sherpa to help you get to the Mount Everest of your life.
Excellent. So asklewis.substack.com or lewiscoaches@gmail.com. And you've seen him. Here he is, $5 a month. Thank you.
Thank you.